Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Tangledeep Dawn of Dragons, where, as you can see here, I've gotten our new character started already. I figured the early part of the game is not super fun to watch, it's very samey from character to character as we're just building up. So me, and definitely not a person, cleared out the first 6 floors of the dungeon really quickly. So, let me catch you up with where we are right now. We are currently a level 8 Spell Shaper. A Spell Shaper is a casting class that starts by getting access to these evocation spells. You can see there's 4 of them, they have different elements, and they each have an additional effect on top of the elemental damage. The Shadow one increases, stacks up a debuff that increases shadow damage, the Fire one leaves a burn behind, the Ice one reduces enemy accuracy, and the Acid one reduces their physical defense for a while. Obviously, all useful stuff. But what gives the Spell Shaper her name is these Spell Shape abilities. So when we use these, we gain a little buff, and then whenever we cast an evocation with the buff up, it is affected by our Spell Shape. The basic ones just change, as you might imagine from the name, the shape of the spell. We can cast it in a line or in a 3x3 block, and this just makes the spell cost some stamina on top of the normal energy cost. But there are some spell shifts that do some interesting things. This one makes your evocation ignore enemy defenses, but seals you for 1 turn. This one makes your spell instead of doing its normal effect, create an object in the tile. Usually like a ground hazard, like it makes a fire or it makes an acid pool. And Spell Shift Aura, as you might imagine, turns your thing into an elemental aura. I don't remember exactly what these all do. We're going to play with it. I thought this would be a good time to bring you all in as we're coming into the full strength of the Spell Shaper class, and then of course we are going to move out of this into another class, because there's a place I want to end up here. The class I started as, though, you'll notice some of these are different colors, was... I actually don't remember what it's called, but it's the one that collects the echoes from the enemies. You saw this Reverberate Monster ability with the last character. So we're going to be collecting monster echoes and using them not just for Reverberate Monster, which is very expensive, but sometimes very powerful, but also to call forth elemental spirits. So this has to be cast on a tile with an elemental ground effect or terrain, and then it creates a spirit of that type. In a pinch, we can use Spell Shift Materialize to create the object to call the elemental out of. Hopefully that will never be necessary because it's very expensive, but it is a thing we could do. And also, we have the ability to summon a Soul Shade. So you see, this costs 3 echoes, this costs 3 echoes. So I'm going to try, with this character, to be a little bit more proactive in turning our echoes into stuff, instead of just using Reverberate Monster as an emergency ripcord. And I also picked up Parting Gifts. Imbues all of your summoned pets with an explosive energy. When they die, they deal 150% of your weapon power, I think, not their weapon power, as fire damage. That'll be relevant because we're going to transition into a pet class after this. So I was thinking kind of a zookeeper menagerie thing. We're a spellcaster, but we also have pets, and we have a broad rainbow of damage types and abilities, so particular resistances shouldn't bother us too much. That's sort of the concept we're building toward. I discovered that we do not even have a single staff in the bank, much less a good staff, so I've been running around with this Battle Mage Chemist's Longbow of Ice, because it gives us bonus spirit power. It's fine. And of course, this very, very good pike for in case things get weird. But so far the game's not been terribly difficult. You know what the first 6 levels are like. However, this time, when we defeated Duke Dirtbeak, these stairs opened up. The stairs to the Bandit Waterworks 1F. And when that happened, there was a little dialogue box saying something about maybe there's a dragon up there. So hey, maybe there's a dragon up here. Let's go find out. The Bandit Dragon. Hello, Bandit Enforcer. Ow! Okay, maybe I shouldn't be up here. That's a lot of damage. Yeah, you know what? It's possible. I thought these, the dragon areas were supposed to scale to your level, but maybe not. Maybe we should come back here in a couple of levels, because that was a big hit. Yeah, and I'm not really doing very much damage. Maybe let's come back later. Or definitely not a person is really suffering. Alright, now remember, we do know that when we go into an item dream, we get access to a dream portal in there that probably holds a dragon. We have an idea of where the next dragon or two might be. What rumors do I have? I don't even remember. None. Okay, well, let's maybe start by solving that problem. I would like to go back to town, please. I forgot to pick up rumors. Discover off the beaten path. I don't really want to do that, and the hand axe of the wolf doesn't sound useful to me at all. Old Amber Station. There's 73 XP. Wow, don't spoil me now. I don't really... man, okay. I do wish that they would not give you quests that cause you to go down in the dungeon. But alright, we'll take that. So. I guess I portaled. I could have used the portal. Old Amber Station, which is this one. Let's get in here and kill some dudes. And we probably do not need to be very thorough. I suppose being thorough for the sake of finding... I cannot cast a spell in this space. Why not? Yeah, none of my spells seem to want to cast. It's weird. In fact, I can't do anything at all. Oh, I can't cast that spell on you because I accidentally charmed you. The accidental charming thing is actually super annoying. It's very rarely beneficial, usually just annoying. But yeah, we might want to be a little thorough with exploration here, not for fighting monsters purposes, but for flask charge purposes. But I also wonder if we have enough flask charges. I will say one thing that I'd really like to do with this character, if possible, is expand our menagerie of captured pets. Most pets make pretty bad corral pets. Most monsters make pretty bad corral pets. But in particular, I would like to see if we can get a hold of a verdigrizzly here, because I was just thinking it would fit really well with our whole zookeeper aesthetic if we were able to have a pet that made more pets. Expedition Day 15, running low on supplies, almost out of food. Starving, I tried cooking this juicy-looking vine by boiling it in a pot. Big mistake. Turns out it was a floriconda, all coiled up. I thought it was going to get the best of me, but I whacked it into submission with my trusty ladle. Turns out, floriconda doesn't taste too good. Not worth the effort. Sous vide. This game has a certain aesthetic in its writing. The name sous vide is a really good example of that. So yeah, I think this will be probably a little bit safer of a build. And once we are in our final class, I'm more confident that we'll be able to pull off our class trial. I think the Paladin class trial is just very difficult because Paladin is by itself a pretty bad class. Also, our pet is wildly overpowered for this area. I really appreciate how trivial he's making this early stuff. We should take that. We are definitely in a place where we can afford to take a couple more Pandora's boxes at least. So, I'm not really using our spells too much. Largely because we don't have to, but we should at least play with the aura thing, right? So if we click the spell shaping button, let's turn on aura mode. And let's fiddle with these a little bit. So what does shadow evocation do? You know what, let's get near an enemy first. Apparently easier said than done. Yeah, we'll find somebody. Here we go, okay. Prepare to get shadow aura'd. What did I do? Spells coalesce into an... That wasn't really all that helpful. Here we go, Shadow Aura, making you harder to detect and hit. Okay, that's cool. What about Ice Evocation? Freezes enemies that attack you in melee, so the auras all last 12 turns and I can have more than one up at a time. Acid Aura. Debuffs damage and physical defense of enemies that attack you in melee. And finally, Fire Aura. Okay, well, Fire Aura seems to have done some damage right away. Burns nearby enemies every turn. Okay, so Fire Aura actually seems really great. Spell shifting is free. Spell shaping is free. And it doesn't require a turn to do it. We can just turn it on and off whenever we want. It's a very useful thing. Also, you can see the evocations have very short cooldowns here, so we can cycle through them a lot. We can actually do a lot of spellcasting with this character. The only real danger is that we might run out of spellcasting resources. Apparently I confused his dead body. That'll show him. I believe in all cases the materialized thing just makes a ground hazard of the expected type, but I guess let's find out. Curious about this as well. So we don't actually have enough energy to test all of these right now. Let's get near some enemies and do it that way. This is a remarkably small floor. Alright, you get shadow materialized upon you. Okay, so we made ourselves a shadow grasp. Totally sensible. Acids, I'm sure acid's just going to make an acid pool. Wow, that was really easy. Turns out basically nobody is enough of a champion to stop our water elemental from killing them in 2 hits. So yeah, I think this is just going to do exactly the thing we expect it to do. So we have a couple more skills to pick up with this class. Did I go the wrong way? I totally went the wrong way. A couple more skills to pick up with this class, and then we will head into our intended destination of... I'm not trying to be coy about it, by the way. I cannot remember what any of the classes in the game are called. For some reason, my dumb brain... It's the nature-y one. The Vine Guy. That's probably what it's called. Vine Guy. That's what I would call it. Well, I think I found where that strange suit of armor came from. After I cleared the rubble around that cave-in, I found a path leading to a metal building with a window but no door. I peeked in and saw lots and lots of those suits of armor just walking around on their own. I'm not gonna lie, I ran back to camp as fast as my legs would carry me. But I'm worried. How long have they been there? And what are they up to? I'm scared, but I gotta go back. I wonder if there's a way to get them to let me inside. I don't know if that's a good idea. He's awfully trusting. I wonder if there's a way to get them... Maybe we could just be friends. I wonder if there's a way that we can all just be friends. No consideration that, those things might be dangerous. Okay, so this is what happens when you live in a world where you are not familiar with robots. Did you just hit him for 347? Criminy. So I don't exactly remember how the breeding system works. But what I'm thinking I would like to do is try to breed a verdigrizzly with another pet that has a healing ability, and see if we can get a pet out on the other end that has the verdigrizzly summoning ability and a heal, so that we don't have to personally maintain it. So the water spirit, or perhaps a chemist or something. I think that's a thing you can do. Get a pet that has all of its normal abilities plus one ability from the other parent. That's a treasure hunter who seems not to have noticed that we are here. I'm just gonna give him the old hot foot. Take that, you fool. Wow, yeah, we really don't do very much damage relative to the damage output of our pet. For some reason, there are flames here. Okay, there's actually a ton of floor left to explore. And... oh, you know what? I wasn't even looking at what this actually said. I just read the yellow words. Kill 2 Goliath beetles with fire, and it just said Old Amber Station in the thing. Okay, well, we can certainly do that. Actually, I'm not sure if we can. We have fire abilities and everything, but I'm a little worried that I'm going to have trouble getting the killing blow on many enemies around here. Because the water elemental sure is good at his job. Oh, hey, this thing. Well, we should probably do it. There are crystal shards at stake here. Where's the first shard? Ah, it's down here. Okay. Yeah, put the thing in the thing. And this guy has some stuff to say, but we've read it already. I know, we haven't exactly been adventuring for very long here. But obviously we already needed a break Fighting monsters is hard work, I assume. I'm not actually doing any of it, so I wouldn't know. But it seems hard. My elemental seems tired, you know? Is this the part where we go out back? No. Although, that was a mint super brew. Pretty cool. It was definitely worth coming up here just for that. Ah, here we go. This room is... No? It's around over here. You know, I've done this area so many times over the years since this game hit early access. You would think I would know by now. Okay, place the shard in the device. Now we go up here? Can't remember if this is the last one or not. It is the last one. Oh no, wait, actually, you don't go up there until after you unfreeze everything, right? Because that's where all the shards are. I do feel like they could maybe, with stuff like this, maybe if you've accomplished it once in this save file, there's like an abbreviated version of it that shows up. There we go. Sadly, none of this is going to be usable yet, because it takes, I believe, 3 shards of a particular type to create a lucid orb of that type. But if we have to do this, do that again with another character, maybe we'll actually be able to finish some orbs off of it. Really though, we are still moving pretty fast, just trying to get to the part where the game's going to start to feel a little bit more difficult, where our pet is not strong enough to solo the whole thing. But I thought it would be good to come in at this point rather than with a fully built character, so that we could get a little experience, like playing around with our evocations and whatnot. I will say, we have access to a broad variety of damage types, but we do not have an evocation for lightning, nor do we have an easy way to get access to lightning from any of our other jobs. So I'm wondering if like a lightning wand or a lightning staff might be a good way to go. Then again, our staff is probably also our only source of physical damage, so maybe that's what we really want there. It just seems like lightning damage is really important on the later floors, right? Okay, this seems like the kind of opportunity where we maybe want to put our spell shape into line format, and then let's just drop a fire line right there. You are fire immune. Well, I probably should have read before I did the thing. So you're not actually resistant at all to physical damage. I'm just going to switch over to Jirosu's Journey and stab. It's actually a very good spear. It does not give us bonus spirit power, which is part of the reason that I'm not holding on to it and just auto-switching over to the bow. Is actually having the bow in our hands is giving us bonus damage on all our spells. Okay. Yeah. Got him down to 74%. I was like, if we can just get him down to like 20 before our pet decides to kill him. But it's actually pretty non-trivial. Alright, I suppose I should not just die. I guess. Yeah, we don't need to stick around here. I do appreciate that after you unfreeze the stuff in the Research Alcove, its name changes to Lush Research Alcove. Alright, after this, when we get up to the next floor, let's just go ahead and cook a campfire meat. When we get up to the next floor, let's head back to town and see if we can maybe get some new rumors, some better rumors, some rumors that are maybe actually suited to the part of the dungeon that we are in. Also, we have job points, actually a lot of job points. So, we have 2 more spell shapes to pick up, a ray emanating from you, so just infinite in distance, you know, like a ray. And penetrate both still have to be picked up, and also delayed teleport. So delayed teleport is really useful. It is a teleport that can be targeted anywhere you want on a pretty short cooldown, but because it delays 2 turns before it goes off, it's not useful for escaping certain types of threats. It is still going to allow us to escape ugly fights, but like we can't use it to get away from a bomb or a claw attack or anything. So it's not totally ideal. We do also have the Spirit Walk movement power, which is actually very, very effective. And then we're going to pick up another thing from our other class, Nature Romancer. Greensman. Yeah, well, you know, when we switch over to Greensman. Okay, so we're actually almost done here. Let's go ahead and grab that and Spell Shift Penetrate, I guess. In my opinion, Spell Shift Raise not even all that good, but we may as well take it, right? It's only 100 more job points. The thing is, a huge percentage of the time, when Ray will do a thing, Line would also do that thing. You just don't need infinite range all that often. Yeah, all the basic foods. True to love, foods. Delight the Box of Mints loving Guardian Steward in the Fungal Caves for a bubble-studded vest and some restorative items. I don't really... Could you give me a reward that I care about, like, a little bit? There's a wild, untamed, grizzled Komodo. Okay, so we know that Desert Oasis is on Old Amber 9. That's good information. You know what? I'll try. And discover the casino in Fungal Caves 8. Okay, that one's actually really important. I guess we are going to Fungal Caves 8 after all. Down here and harvest our stuff. Can I get a rumor? No, okay. She usually only offers you 3. So somewhere on this floor is Desert Oasis. Let's get that, and then we'll figure stuff out. We'll figure out Fungal Caves and Casino afterward. Suppose you know what? I probably didn't need to drink that, because I bet we're going to heal up after we kill this champion. Nope, not quite. I really overestimated the amount of experience we were going to get from that. Oh no, my attack is down. It has taken many months, but I've worked myself into that ridiculous Duke Dirtbeak's circle of trust. I can now safely pass through the bandit stronghold, and finally see what lies beyond. All of my choices will soon be validated, and my sacrifices justified. I must not let these things weigh heavily until then. Rest assured, I will have my revenge on the bandits for their many crimes, once I have returned. Alderwin. I don't know if that's a name that we've ever seen anywhere else. Skipper Mikesworth the Cheat sort of just appeared in the middle of our party there. Really disruptive to our marching order. You know what? I'm gonna leave line mode on. Who cares? It's fine. I've mostly been putting points into Spirit, because Spirit Power obviously is valuable. Also, once we have a staff, a lot of our auto attack damage is going to come from staff damage. But we probably need to take some defensive points at some point here. I'm going to grab some Discipline. Discipline also boosts staff damage, while of course boosting your elemental defenses. That's a really useful spell. Since we intend to be in melee range of enemies a lot less with this character, physical resistance is not quite as important, although a lot of enemies do have physical typed range attacks, so it's certainly not the case that we could ignore it, even if we did feel like it was going to be the case that we were never adjacent to an enemy, which obviously is a little unrealistic. Wait a minute, I probably should pick up that money. As much as we don't actually need money, it feels a little silly to just leave it sitting on the floor. Get him, Pet. Oops, I walked through you. Pet's trying his absolute best to save me, and I completely disarmed the attempt. Yeah, I gotta say, I'm disappointed that we didn't finish the Shara thing, but I really don't think the mechanics of leveling up in that thing are very good. I'm not talking about the exchanging job points for stats, but just the way that you can only really get enough XP to be competitive, or rather job points to be competitive. The fact that that's very focused on like walking back and forth through the same level over and over again until monsters stop spawning. Just where does that get fun? How are we doing on Pandora's boxes? I know it feels really good right now, but we should try to make sure that we're not overdoing it. Tell you what, let's take this one And then we'll take it a little easy. Oh, actually, Spell Shape Ray. And then we're done with this class, and we should definitely switch classes and then grab the Pandora's Box. Fortunately, we did pick up a Scroll of Job Change. A couple of them, apparently. And we're going to swap over to Floramancer. That's it. It's not even a bad name. I actually like the name Floramancer. That brain is not good. Wield the power of verdant nature, summoning beasts, traps, and obstacles to control the battlefield. I think this class is really fun. I like this one a lot. So, select job. Touch the chest. Okay, we got a Lucid Orb of Bandit Slaying, and how much is it going to take for me to get my Floraconda? Floraconda is 250 job points. Okay. That Floraconda is crucial to our battle plan. It's just, for so many reasons, as you've seen over the last couple of characters, it is just so nice to have something else for the monsters to shoot at. So, okay. Back down to the stairs, and then eastward. Oh, also there's a doorway over here. And hey, look at that. They didn't even really separate. I think our pet's trying to get over here, and he just can't quite figure it out. Oh, no, never mind. As soon as the danger was gone, he figured it out. Alright, well, we found the way upstairs, which is not really what I was looking for. I suppose that is something we're going to need eventually. Okay, turns out the stairs we were looking for were right here the entire time. Ain't that always the way? Okay, so the Desert Oasis can sometimes be a little bit challenging. Gonna have to be smart here. The Ruby Moon, who we have not yet met, would like us to know that she has goods in stock. Right, I'm blind. When I am blinded, I should probably use a different thing. I'm going to turn off Spell Shape Line, because we're actually probably going to have to cast a decent number of spells in here. Okay, so they're equally resistant to everything, although, I mean, I said turn off Line because we're going to have to cast a lot of spells, but it turns out that Line is actually maybe what we need. Alright, so we're trying to knock this guy out if we can. Seemed like a lot of biting. Boy, yeah, this bow is not getting the job done anymore. Try to be careful not to get him too low. Oh no, don't run away! Okay. Monster Mallet and bring him back, right? I definitely have mallets. Yeah, there we go. Okay, run away from potential conflict. Would you look at that? I really thought there was a good chance we weren't going to get that. I figured, you know, not a person is almost certainly just going to murder this dude. Here, I brought you this. His name is... Let's be honest. I got a bag of grain, a chicken pot pie, and some... Wow. Those aren't even good rewards. And I see that we are lit up here. Yes, we do in fact have the abilities. So, the Floraconda. Let's mess with our bar a little bit here. All of the summon abilities are on the second bar. That makes sense to me. Our basic spellcasting stuff on the first bar I like. I like having spell shaping here. It would make a little bit more sense to me. I guess Parting Gifts is a monster relevant, pet relevant ability, and our movement stuff goes together. So I don't remember how long the Parting Gifts buff lasts. It's possible that it's pretty long, but I'm gonna try to cast it when our pets are low on health, specifically. And this only affects your summon pets, not your corral pet. I guess we should also talk about our passives over here. I just realized, obviously we have Echo Collector, which is the thing that lets you get echoes from picking up power-ups. All of our spell shape stuff. And then we have Kinetic Magic. While your stamina is low, spirit power is increased. I feel like we have a lot of power to have low stamina, so this feels like it's just a thing that's going to let me have 20% more spirit power whenever I feel like it. And Immunology gives us a 1 in 3 chance to just ignore an incoming debuff, and also it makes all of our debuffs better. Seems like a pretty obvious thing since we were in the class that grants it anyway. Probably wouldn't go out of my way for it, but sometimes it's going to save our lives. We probably will not know when that happens, but sometimes it's going to happen. Alright, so, the Floriconda. As you can see, the Floriconda, takes up some of your energy bar. Summons a ferocious thorned plant beast to fight on your behalf. So we're going to have to be a little smart about our energy management. But also, hey, look at that. We have a pet. We have a pet that is reasonably tough. That's not what I wanted. I wanted to buy items. Reasonably tough, pretty good at dealing damage, and he's going to get better as we continue to level up our Florimancer. None of this stuff... Ooh, Scroll of Teleportation. But yeah, aside from that, none of this stuff is particularly interesting. And rumors. You want to give me good rumors. Pulverize some Ember Spirits to get a Flame Ring of Muscle. Man, okay, I guess. Oh, I am full up. I mean, honestly, I'm going to drop this. Dragon Mind entrance is at Old Amber Station 10. Okay. Right, let's go finish the Desert Oasis, and then I guess we'll go up to Kragan Mine Station. We will go unlock the casino. Obviously, I think the casino is pretty important, but we'll get there. Unfortunately, the Floriconda does not naturally heal, and the cooldown for resummoning it does not start until your existing one dies, much like our shield how Shara's shield works. So that can sometimes be a little bit annoying. I'm gonna set you on fire. So I don't expect this area to be too much of a challenge. Although we do have to watch out for enemies with annoying resistance groups. So let's hit him with some fire. Let's go back to not line, and then hit him with some fire. The Floriconda is going to die a lot at first. Eventually our Floriconda is going to get pretty powerful. And in fact, we even have a piece of a set that improves the toughness of your Floriconda, so I'm eager to get that working. In fact, we could probably equip that now. I hadn't had it equipped because I think it's slightly worse than our existing accessories, but I believe wearing a set piece makes you more likely to find more pieces of the set. So yeah, let's go ahead and do this. Also, step through mud with no penalty is not a big deal, but it sure is something I want to have. So we're currently using just gear that was in the bank, right? The cat hair earband, or cat ear hairband is probably what we're going to get rid of. Hopefully we will be switching off the bow, so we don't need the 15 swiftness all that badly, and this will make the charming thing stop happening. And in case you don't remember, the shard is 10 core stats, and every time you get hit with a magic, you have a 15% chance to not take that damage and instead get spirit power. It seems great. Honestly, we might keep it equipped for quite a long time. Hey, look, a staff. It doesn't have any traits on it or anything, so I'm not going to equip it right away, but we should definitely, at the very least, we should definitely build ourselves a staff. Also, the cooldown on this is definitely available by now. Because the Floriconda cooldown does not start until the thing dies, we don't really need to summon it pre-combat like this. We could just drop it once we find a fight to get into. But I don't want to spend the turn in combat doing that. And also, it's just a good idea to have stuff ready. Step away from them. Yeah, our damage is definitely going to go up once we start using a staff. But our spirit power, somewhat paradoxically, will go down. So, I'd like to hold off until we get a good one. And like I said, if we can get a Thunder Staff, that would be especially good. So when we find a second piece of this set... Destroy... okay, some of the bookshelves can be destroyed. Never remember, because in most places it's... in most places you can't destroy stuff like that, but then there are certain rooms where you can, like the second Duke Dirtbeak fight, almost everything is destructible. I do wish that the rules were a little bit more consistent on that stuff. It doesn't matter, but it just bothers me a little bit because I'm particular. Hold on, we don't need any of Ruby Moon's poetry. Yeah, geez, our damage output is very bad. And our pet is getting damage type ineffective notices and still doing way, way more damage than we are. And I guess you want to do Shadow Evocation pretty early so that you can potentially take advantage of the vulnerability. Okay, this is an annoying thing that is happening to us here. I'm gonna delay teleport. And then we'll just smash him with a couple of spells. Okay, there we go. We're probably pretty close to done. I mean, there's got to be one more. We know that because we haven't gotten the bonus job points for clearing the area yet. Hopefully, this guy's the last one. All right, extra 166. We will be getting through this class very quickly. Let's go ahead and sell all of our unequipped gear. We just sold that wizard staff. Now let's go and look at what she has turned it into. Ooh, check that out. Rank 9 bow. Hydrating, glowing obsidian band. You know, honestly, one of these might not be bad. Our two accessory items are very, very good right now, but an obsidian band is perhaps interesting. Lucky wizard staff. Weapon power 194. So adds 1 base spirit power per level. I'm assuming that means per character level? And probably not per item rank. So that's not very good yet. An apprentice's staff of foraging, of course. Apprentices are less good. A wild club looks a lot like a staff. I think you'd be able to use it as a staff if you just believe. I'd say I think this is pretty bad. We have to be able to do better than a rank 3 staff. We have to. Okay, there's nothing else interesting in her inventory. I mean, this is a good place to find, because we can come back to Ruby Moon periodically and dump off a bunch of items and see if she makes them into something cool. So now I guess we are just heading out up to floor 10, where the next thing is. Also, we have abilities. So the passives for this class: Aura of Growth causes vines to just appear around you. This doesn't necessarily sound great, but we have a couple of skills that rely on vines. We will get use of these. When your summoned Floriconda dies, you recover health. That's going to be a little bit useful. You can see as we level up, it will get stronger and stronger. If we can get this set going, the second piece will increase its health by another 50%. I'm very much looking forward to that. And then Thorned Skin here gives you a 50% chance to do damage to things that attack you, and it also affects your Floriconda and your spitting plants. I think we're just going to go ahead and grab that right now. Things are always meleeing the Floriconda, right? May as well make them pay the price. I don't have 40 energy. Now I am the one who is paying the price. Alright, hey, wait, where'd that guy go? You. Surrender your energy to me. That's not energy. I suppose we could just flask up. Because I did take the bonus that makes your, the upgrade that makes your flask generate stamina and energy. Okay, found the Kraken Mine entrance. We did it. Now we can make a Floriconda. And I don't really know what kind of armor we want to wear. I don't remember what the light armor mastery does, if it is actually relevant. I don't want to just use light armor because wizards in fiction and also, you know, game systems generally use light armor. It may be the case that that heavy armor, more of a battle mage aesthetic, is exactly the way we want to go. We'll see. We don't have to make this decision right now. We do not have access to the armor mastery place yet anyway. And I'm expecting our pet to just completely shred people here. Alright, you are roughly equally resistant to everything. Let's throw up. I was going to do a fire evocation, but obviously that's not so great against him. So why don't we do instead the shadow? You can see I can rotate the line. And then acid. Okay, that was easy enough. We really are just looking for, at this point, the stairs. I don't need to explore this place. We can get some gems that we don't actually have any use for. Doesn't seem like a good use of our precious human time. So I'm just going to walk out of the cloud here before continuing to fight. And we could be using delayed teleport to avoid having to step in the lava, but that sounds like a lot of work. Alright, we are tearing it up on the job points here really quickly. So, let's talk about our other skills. This allows us to conjure even more vines. I don't know if all vines slow nearby enemies or if it's just the vine wall vines, and I don't actually even know what slow means in this circumstance, but this is useful because you have abilities like Vine Swing, which lets you jump to any space where there is a vine. This is a pretty strong movement ability, in my opinion, but obviously it requires a little bit of setup. Bed of Thorns lets us drop some thorns on the ground that will deal poison damage to our enemies. The Spitting Plant is an ability that we had with Shara. It does that, but remember, our Spitting Plants deal damage to enemies who attack them. Photosynthesis gives us a brief buff to the damage output of our plant-type abilities. Thornsplosion causes one of our vines to explode, doing 190% of spirit power as fire. It's very, very good. And finally, Creeping Death is... you put down a plant in one space, it deals damage to enemies who stand on it, and it also grows outward, like a little bit like the sludge pool from the sludge elementals. So I actually think that Floromancer is a great class with good utility and a ton of really good AoE damage, and I think that's something that we've really lacked with some of our previous characters. So I think for right now, let's take... Thornsplosion? Because this does work on your Floriconda as well, when your Floriconda gets close to dying. Although I guess we don't need it with gifts. Maybe let's just take Conjure Vine Wall. It's going to be a little while before we want to get Aura of Growth, and also with Aura of Growth, obviously the results are unreliable. Sometimes you just really need vines to be in a specific place. Alright, I'm going to stop getting hit for no reason. There we go. You know, in a very real sense, health is a limited resource. You don't get it back for free, so try to be a little bit more cautious with it. Basically, just like real life. Oh, why was this guy so damaged? So I gotta pay more attention to my health. I gotta remember... We're not quite as tough as we were as Shara, and also I have, we have Flask again. Well, it looks like up there is probably the wrong way to go. Let's try this. Aha! I know I said I wasn't going to bother being very thorough, but, okay. It only took a few seconds. We didn't get anything out of it. It's definitely something I could have not done. Some part of my brain is broken. I don't know if it's too many years of video games or what. Alright, I am very eager to get a proper weapon. We just need to find a bow that has a staff that has a slightly better rank. It will help a lot once we've found the casino, I think. Which we can do right after this. Okay, we are playing some kind of shadow enemy from somewhere. I'm going to remember to use my elemental spirits. So we could pull up a shadow elemental spirit from these things, but if we're going to do that, we may as well just get a soul shade. Or we could reverberate a monster. You know what? Let's just make a soul shade. Additional pet to help us deal with the champion. And I'm going to hit parting gifts here. It doesn't list a duration for it. Maybe it lasts until they die. Our pet leveled up, which is a cool thing. It's good to have a high level pet. So these are all my friends. I mean, I guess let's just hit him with some spell damage. He is shadow vulnerable. Oh right, the soul shade causes shadow vulnerability. Plays nicely with this. Okay. Easy enough. And no, the parting gifts thing does not last forever. Because oh no, he still has parting gift on him. Maybe it does last forever. That's actually really handy. Alright, I did save you, and it was pretty incredible if you think about what that guy just witnessed. That was really something. He's going to have nightmares for the rest of his life. And that's just, you know, that's the effect I intend to have on people. After all, if you're not causing everyone around you constantly to reevaluate their own sanity, how do you even know you're alive? How can you prove that you exist? I ask you. We learned an important lesson there, by the way. I don't know if everybody noticed. I tried to teleport to a space, and then my pet stepped on top of it, so I instead teleported to an adjacent space. Definitely a thing to remember for the future, because it could kill us. Do not try to teleport near the pet if teleporting with precision is important to you. Okay, find something quiet lately. Just do the thing we do every time we come back to town, buy all the stuff that's interesting, and we'll eventually cook with it. We buy Spirit Linked. Monsters less likely to notice you. Wait, what's the Spirit Linked? Oh, 10% chance to restore energy when hit. Honestly, Spirit Linked is not a bad trait. But we are not going to bother buying that. Let's go collect our harvested food and then go find the casino. We're just going to have to go back to Dirtbeak's den. Was the casino on floor 7? 8. Okay. Oh, also, while we're in here, we should probably spend these job points. We really are pulling them in quickly. Now that we have Conjure Vine Wall, let's take Vine Swing. And I think, actually, I'm gonna put that on here. Oh, so we have to be in slot abilities mode. That on here. Because now all of our movement abilities are together, and that pleases me. Conjure Vine Wall isn't a thing we're going to need to do all that often, and it's a conjure, so it should go with all the other conjuration. We are not going to have room on our bar for everything. We're going to have to pull some stuff off. I definitely overbought abilities. But I figured, you know, as long as we're putting it together, we may as well err on the side of having too many things. It doesn't really harm us. You get an awful lot of job points over the course of the game. Alright, the Fungal Caves. We don't need to be particularly careful with the monsters or anything. Like, there's nothing we're trying to capture. It's a very different feeling than playing as Shara. I try not to reflect projectiles directly back into my own face. Well, that's a lava pit. We should probably do the lava pit. You know, there are job points at stake. Even though it is very annoying. I'm not going to want to do the teleport every time we need to get anywhere because it's really a lot of waiting. And I mean, it's a not inconsiderable amount of, like, mana too. Energy, rather. This the whole lava pit? This is what it is, isn't it? Gonna have to admit, I did not remember the area called the lava pit. I guess this is why. It's pretty not memorable. Is something down there, potentially? You know what? We're good. It's like the carrot patch. It's not one of the ones that awards job points. I had forgotten. Be weak against... Yeah, we really need a source of lightning. So I need to... Every single time we turn it off, I immediately wish it was back on. But still, we shall turn it off. Okay, that's just up. We should at the very least look around for flash charges, right? You're gonna need a lot of them. I do appreciate how much more open these levels are. I do not so much appreciate these little side areas that are a real pain to get to. Not a real pain to get to, but just like pretty much anywhere in the area that anywhere in the game that requires precision to walk around in, like the spiny maze, be a little bit annoying. Obviously, that's not the most annoying thing about the spiny maze, because there are all those spinies. So yeah, you're up, and I think I'm gonna not take the Pandora's box. Let's hold off a little bit, get higher up. There will be more boxes. We can choose to take some on later. Actually, I probably need that power up. Probably not a character who can afford to sometimes skip power-ups. We can go through an awful lot of energy and stuff really quickly. Alright, you want a box of mints. I'm pretty sure I have some of those. There is a better way to do this. Alright, go get it, buddy. But this is one of those. Okay, I'll drop another one for you. That's pretty weird, though. When the exclamation points came up, I assumed that he had figured it out. Okay. Damn it. He accidentally stepped on the thing. Well, if all he's going to give me is a small amount of money, I'll just take my mints back. Thank you. Alright. Fungal Caves 9. That is not what we are here for. There we go. The casino. Alright. Don't much care about a Knife of Stealth, but we do need to do this thing to get our free casino tokens. And then we'll check it out. I am hopeful. I'm especially hopeful that we might be able to find another piece of the Wild Nature set here, because this is, I think, the place where we most commonly see set items. They're actually pretty rare on the loot tables. I'm guessing from the fact that they are never dropping. They are never dropping is a weird way to express that, but you know where I'm going. The fact that they never drop. And yeah, I like the one that is the more healing, but that requires us to be a little smarter with our flask. That Floriconda is getting shredded. Let's set you on fire. Okay. Everything's fine. Our Floriconda bestowed upon her his parting gift. I mean, we may as well just fire it off now, since it looks like it is an infinite... It's a good combination, though. If the Floriconda dies, you get... If the Floriconda dies, you get healed and the enemies get blown up. It's like anytime you are in a little bit of trouble, get that big boost in effectiveness. I'm excited for our prospects with this class. I think as long as I can avoid doing anything really stupid, we should have a pretty powerful run here. Even more so than the runs that we've just had. Which, honestly, were better than I made them look. Look, another greedy wizard staff. Oh no, sorry, the other one was lucky. I'm pretty sure they are both traits that just cause monsters to drop additional money. But I guess they are technically different things. I will say that I don't necessarily think the experience, the user interface experience of switching spell shapes all the time is necessarily super fun. But, you know, how else would they have implemented it, right? Did I miss somebody? I don't think we got a notification that we were clear. Possible we missed somebody. Or that one of the bandits, like, followed around behind us. Aha! There we are. This little expedition was actually worth a lot of job points. Alright, I did the thing. Give me 42 casino tokens, and let's see what's on sale. Lucky Luminaire. That is an item rank 11 staff. That would be a pretty good staff to start building things out of. 325 base power. Penetrating Archmage Rod, which is definitely more affordable. And honestly, has a fairly useful trait on it. That might also be good. Then, Jasu's Marked Cards, Deep Lake's Gem. Move through Deadly Void with no penalty. It's specific, but it's certainly powerful in its specific thing that it does. Spirit-linked Frostscale Leather Armor of Foraging. You know, an increase to our power-up drop rate actually would be really nice. Find only energy power-ups I don't think is the way we want to go. We definitely do want to have stamina available for spell shaping and stuff. A lightweight bull-penetrating Warhammer. Well, that doesn't seem like it's very nice to the bull. Now, we do probably want a spell book. Rods are... yeah, staves are only one-handed, so we will want a book for our offhand. It's not necessarily something I want to pay casino tokens for, but we definitely do need one. So, I don't know. This Luminaire might be a good way to go. I could do a bunch of gambling. It's expensive, but we totally could. My only concern here is that an item of rank 11 is going to require us to level up a little bit more before we can go into it. And I think we'd have to get pretty lucky to get the lightning damage onto it, because I don't think we have a Lucid Orb of lightning damage. We should check, though. Let's see what's in the Lucid Orb bank. We have Skill Orb for a thing we don't have. We do have a casino token. Oh, we have this. This is an offhand, isn't it? Actually, I'm not sure if it doesn't say that it's an offhand. It might be an accessory slot item. Anyway, it doesn't seem all that great. I mean, we can put debuffs on enemies pretty easily. Yeah, actually, because each of our evocations leaves a different debuff behind, maybe a Candle Skull is very good. Of course, we have lots and lots of rings. Skill Orb for a skill we don't have. We do have a Skill Orb for Summon Floriconda. Becomes a Bull Floriconda, losing the Pull ability but gaining Bull Rush. You know, honestly, that's probably good. I think we mostly want... we don't want enemies to come toward us. We want them to be pushed away. So we might want to put this on something. I don't know if we have a piece of gear yet that we are going to hold on to. You really want to put your skill orbs on something you're fairly confident you will not be replacing. I don't know. I guess that's a thing I can consider in off-camera time. Oh, your gear isn't actually any different. Go and harvest some food. And then I guess we can just leave it here. The Wild Untamed Guardian Sphere in the Ancient Ruins 12. You know, 122 job points. That's actually probably worth doing. Retrieve the glowing assassin gloves of focus in a large chest. Sure. And then, what was the other rumor that we have still? Defeat Ember Spirits using that. You know what? I'll go ahead and abandon that. She's willing to give us a different one. Scarred Bog Frog. Well, you know, we would get a spell book from it. I guess that's worth taking. We still really need to find a staff, but we have plenty of opportunities for things like that. We're not going to be without a staff for long. So, Thorn Splosion is pretty powerful. Spitting Plants are pretty great. You know what? Let's get Grow Spitting Plant. That definitely goes on the Conjuration page. And then Bed of Thorns is fine. My suspicion is I'm not going to end up casting this a lot. This probably ends up being one of the things that doesn't stay on the bar. We'll take Photosynthesis, and then I'll swap the positions of these two. In fact, this should go down here. There we go. Now all of the pet summons are together. Alright, I don't know if we're going to keep all of this stuff on our bars. Like, what else do we have left to pick up? Bed of Thorns, I don't know that I necessarily want. But Thorn Splosion and Creeping Death, I definitely do want on the bar, because they're both great. So, we might remove an evocation or two. I might not keep all of the... And we might not keep all of the pet summons, like maybe Soulshade goes. Elemental Spirit has some broad usefulness. To be perfectly honest, I might drop Photosynthesis. I don't know. I'll think about it. That's going to be it for us for today. Thank you all so much for watching. Come back next time on Monday when I have definitely remembered to figure out what's supposed to be on our bar. That will totally happen, for sure. And we'll see you then.